This
in hate.
If there is something, then you must.
The film starts with Loak, Britton Dalton, reliving a memory with his late brother Netiyam, Jamie Flatters, as they ride their ikrans across the sky. Loak continues to blame himself for Netiyam's death due to his actions in battle. Meanwhile, Kiri, Sigourney Weaver, and Spider, Jack Champion, appear to be forming more than a friendly connection. Kiri, Zoe Saldana, continues to grieve her son and immerses herself in old Na'vi traditions to cope, while Jake, Sam Worthington, leads his kids to recover guns from sunken ships. The Metkaina are none too pleased at the thought of utilizing guns in the fight against the RDA, putting Jake in conflict with Tonowari, Cliff Curtis, and Ronal, Kate Winslet. Tonowari suggests that Jake take up his position as Toruk Makto again, but Jake thinks riding the Toruk will make him someone he doesn't want to be. The RDA continue to scour wreckages for whatever they can recover. Scoresby, Brendan Cowell, survived his attack and now uses a prosthetic arm. Ardmore Edie Falco has lost trust in Quaritch, Stephen Lang, who is still driven by his desire for revenge against Jake. Meanwhile, Ian, Jermaine Clement, starts to question his loyalty to the RDA. Loak, Kiri, and Spider join Sireya, Bailey Bass, Aonong, Philip Galo, and Rotso, Dwayne Evans Jr., in swimming along Payakan, who is still considered an outcast among the other Tulkun for using violence. Later at night, the family wakes up in a panic as Spider's oxygen mask starts to run out, but he is given a replacement in time. The Metkaina are visited by the Wind Trader tribe. Jake breaks the news to Loak, Kiri, Tuk, Trinity Bliss, and Spider that he and Neytiri have decided that Spider ought to be taken with the Wind Traders to live somewhere he might be able to breathe properly. The kids protest, with Spider tearfully asking Jake to reconsider, but Neytiri outright tells Spider that he will never be part of their family. Jake arranges with the Wind Trader leader, Pelok, David Thulis, to allow the family to join them in escorting Spider to his new home, on the condition that Neytiri protect them from the skies. The Sullys ride with the Wind Traders in their airships, which come under attack by the Mongkwan tribe, a ruthless group of fire-based Na'vi, led by their vicious leader Varang, Una Chaplin. A sky battle ensues, with the Mongkwan shooting several warriors out of the sky, but the Sulis fight back with their own firepower. Kiri gets Loak, Spider, and Tuk out on an ikran, while Neytiri is knocked into the forest by Varang. The kids crash land in the forest as well. They witness Varang and other Mongkwan connecting their kuru tiles to other Na'vi to overpower them and then cut their kurus off. The kids are chased, but they manage to kill a few Mongkwan before escaping. As the kids continue to run, Spider's oxygen mask starts to run out until it is completely gone. Desperate, Kiri uses her kuru to connect to the earth, which then covers Spider's body in mycelia after she orders Loak to put him there. After a while, Loak pulls Kiri out, and it seems as though Spider is dead. However, he begins to move and breathe, and he no longer needs a mask to breathe Na'vi air. They are discovered by Varang and the Mongkwan, who also note Spider's new development before they capture the children. When Kiri says that Spider breathing is the will of Ewa, Varang snarls that Ewa has no dominion in their territory. Jake is caught by Quaritch and Wainfleet, Matt Gerald. But they form an uneasy alliance when they find the kids captured, and Quaritch realizes Spider is in danger. He reluctantly frees Jake, and they work together to fight the Mangquan, but they are overpowered. Quaritch willingly shows Varang how guns work, or make thunder. Kiri connects herself to the earth again, causing the plant life to shoot toxic quills at the Mangquan, giving everyone a chance to flee the villainous tribe. Neytiri wakes up in a medical tent with Moat, CCH Pounder, and worries for the children. Meanwhile, Jake and Quaritch hold off on killing each other until the kids get home safe. Jake tries to convince Quaritch to see the world through new eyes now that he is a Na'vi, but he knows he is not going to see people the way the Na'vi do. Quaritch returns with Wainfleet to the RDA base to meet with Ardmore and Parker, Giovanni Ribisi, the latter who is still hoping to colonize Pandora and believes Spider's newfound breathing capabilities can help with that. Norm, Joel David Moore, and Max Dilip Rao conduct tests on Spider's anatomy. Norm shows Jake that Spider has grown his own kuru in the back of his head. Kiri tries to connect to Awa again, but she finds herself being shut out. When telling her family about it, Moat tells Jake and Neytiri to reveal the truth of Kiri's parentage. She has no biological father and is, instead, a clone of Grace Augustine's avatar, not her daughter. Kiri is warned that if she tries to connect to Awa again, she could kill herself. Jake privately talks to Neytiri, who suggests that they kill Spider or risk having the RDA figure out how to reverse engineer his breathing capabilities for their colonization efforts. Scoresby and his goons continue to hunt Tulkun with harpoons and other water vehicles. The Sulis return to the Metkaina, where Tonawari tells Jake that the Tulkun Council are calling for a meeting regarding Payakan since he attacked a ship, while Ronal tends to Neytiri's wounds. The Tulkun matriarch orders Payakan to go into exile, which devastates Loak. When he and Saraya try to protest for Payakan, Jake intervenes and argues with his son, almost explicitly blaming him for Netiyam's death for disobeying orders before Lohak runs away in tears. Jake talks to Neytiri about this, as she is still driven by her hatred for humans. Loak comes close to committing suicide with a rifle until he is found by Kiri and Saraya, who try to talk some sense back into him. The teens are gathered in the ocean. Kiri starts to show Spider how to use his kuru to form a Q connection with the Pandoran wildlife, like the skimwings underwater. Quaritch and Wainfleet go looking for Spider by terrorizing other Na'vi. Quaritch then decides to go straight to the Mangquan camp to speak to Varang. After having Wainfleet snipe one of the Mangquan to prove he is not messing around, Varang brings Quaritch into her tent. She explains her people's history, how the fire ravaged their homes, and how they lost faith in Awa when nothing helped them. The Mangquan adapted to the fire, and Quaritch shows Varang how to use other weapons like a flamethrower. The two then begin a sexual relationship. Saraya tells Loak that Payakan's song was heard in nearby waters, which prompts him to leave home and look for him, but not without telling Neytiri first. He is joined by Saraya, Ionong, and Rotso to go search for the young Tulkun. Tonawari informs Jake that their children have gone. Spider and Kiri are in the woods, where they share their first kiss. Moments later, Quaritch leads the Mangquan to capture Spider, after Varang subdues him with her Q connection. The RDA and Mangquan start heading toward the Metkaina village. When Quaritch and Varang emerge, Jake willingly surrenders himself to prevent them from harming the other Na'vi. Quaritch brings Jake and Spider back to base, and everyone greets Quaritch and Varang as heroes. Loak and the other teens are riding their skimwings to find Payakan, but they are attacked by squid-like creatures. Lohak is cornered underwater and nearly drowns until the other Tulkun devour the squids, and Saraya and the other boys pull Loak out and resuscitate him. Later that night, Loak reunites with Payakan, who tells him that he found the last surviving member of his family, another Tolkien named Tarnok, who was attacked and blinded by Scoresby's harpoons. The bastard himself is planning to attack a school of Tulkun, which Ian openly protests. At the RDA base, Quaritch tries to calm an angry Spider before going to taunt Jake, who is in a glass cage for everyone to see. Jake once again tries to get Quaritch to open his mind, but he refuses. Spider escapes his cell and disguises himself to blend in with the crowd, while Neytiri hunts her way to the base after killing some Mon Quan. She catches Varang sleeping and forces her to give up Jake's location before Neytiri cuts off her Kuru. A fight breaks out and Neytiri runs, setting off a panic after she blows up a tanker. Ian seizes the opportunity to use a giant bulldozer to break Jake's cage and free him. Spider catches up to Jake and protects him, knowing the RDA will not shoot him since they need Spider alive. Jake and Spider join Neytiri as they fly to their escape. When the three find a quiet place in the forest to land, Jake reconsiders Neytiri's suggestion about killing Spider to get the RDA off their backs, which she has started to have second thoughts on herself. Jake brings Spider somewhere quiet, preparing to execute him even as Spider begs him not to. Jake ultimately cannot bring himself to do it and embraces the boy. Neytiri runs toward them and tells Spider that she finally sees him. The Metkayina continue to refuse to engage in violence against the RDA until Lohak brings Payakan and Tarnok to them to show what the humans have done. Even as Payakan is still considered an outcast, Lohak and his friends and their Tulkun all decide that they are outcasts as well. Jake then decides he must be Toruk Makto again and goes to a cave to get Toruk out so they may fly again in battle, as he warns the clans that a battle with the Sky People is inevitable. The RDA prepare to go off into battle, with Ardmore trying to ground Quaritch for going against her orders, but he is determined to get Spider back. The battle begins as the Tulkun attack the Whalers in retaliation. The Na'vi fight back against the humans and take out a good number of them before the Mongwan swoop in to fight as well. Kiri dives underwater to reconnect with Eywa to try and help. When she is nearly overpowered, she is joined by Spider and Took, connecting their cues to Eywa as well. Just when it looks like they finally see Eywa's face, a blast goes off underwater, severing Kiri's connection. Meanwhile, other Na'vi like Rotso are fatally wounded, and Ronal takes a deadly hit as well. She gives birth to a daughter, Pril, and tells Neytiri to look after her before she dies. Kiri is soon enveloped in a flash of light underwater, accompanied by other sea creatures. Now tapped into her connection with Eywa, Kiri commands the sea creatures to go after the humans. They destroy their ships, and Scoresby becomes a snack for one of them. Varang attempts to kill Neytiri, but Kiri catches up to her first and overpowers Varang by connecting to her Q and ordering her to flee, which she does. A magnetic flux opens up in the ocean, pulling the RDA's headship towards the vortex. Everyone abandons ship, but Ardmore goes up in flames with it. Quaritch makes another attempt on Jake after holding his kids hostage and ordering him to come with Spider. The boy willingly tries to give himself up, but Jake and Quaritch get pulled toward the flux and start fighting. Spider shoots Quaritch in the arm, but before he can deliver the killing strike, they are knocked over a ledge. Quaritch holds onto Spider and Jake pulls them both up. When the rest of Jake's family arrives, Quaritch realizes he is outnumbered and jumps off the edge and into the flames below. Loak narrates what happened afterwards. The other Na'vi begin to connect to Eywa as well. Payakan is finally accepted by his clan. Kiri brings Spider to the Tree of Souls, where he meets all the deceased Na'vi, along with Grace herself. The Na'vi now see Spider and all accept him as one of their own. Related movie. Brought to you by Jake Sully and the rest of his family have adjusted to living with the Metkayina clan while still awaiting retaliation by the RDA. Spider is having troubles breathing with his mask, so Jake and Neytiri plan to give the boy to the Wind Traders clan so that he may find a more sustainable place to live. While escorting him, the clan comes under attack by the Mongquan tribe, a fire-based group of Na'vi that reject Awa and are led by the vicious Varang. Quaritch joins forces with Varang in his pursuit of Jake as he shows her how to use guns and starts a sexual relationship with her. Kiri helps give Spider the ability to breathe the air on Pandora without a mask, which the RDA finds out about and wants to reverse engineer his development so that they can colonize Pandora. Meanwhile, Loak is dealing with guilt over the death of his brother Netyam, as well as how his Tulkun brother Payakan is seen as an outcast due to using violence against humans. Loak reunites with Payakan and tries to get the clan to accept him, while Quaritch captures Spider, and Jake willingly surrenders himself to avoid any other Na'vi getting hurt. In captivity, Spider frees himself, while Dr. Ian Garvin turns on the RDA for their cruelty, and he helps free Jake. Jake almost kills Spider to avoid the RDA using him against Pandora, but he changes his mind because he loves the boy. And Neytiri finally accepts Spider as part of the family. Loak convinces the other Tulkun to hear Payakan out and accept him before Jake rides Toruk again in the final battle. The RDA are attacked by Payakan and his family member Tarnok while the Na'vi face off the humans and the Mongquan. General Ardmore goes down with her ship when it is pulled into a magnetic flux in the ocean. The other whalers, led by Scoresby, are killed and he gets eaten. Pronal is fatally wounded but gives birth to a baby girl and asks Neytiri to look after her before she dies. Kiri connects to Awa with help from Spider and Took, and she gets the sea creatures to attack and kill the humans. Kiri then goes to stop Varang from killing Neytiri, forcing the Fire Na'vi to flee, while Jake and Quaritch fight once again. After Jake saves him and Spider from falling, Quaritch jumps to his supposed death when he is outnumbered. In the aftermath, Payakan is reaccepted into his clan, while the other Na'vi connects to Awa. Kiri brings Spider to the Tree of Souls, where he meets dead Na'vi, plus the spirit of Grace Augustine, now that the Na'vi see him and accept him as one of their own.